Let's talk about it, shall we? They ignore you, don't they? Oh, how clever they think they are. Like a child with a magnifying glass over an ant, watching, waiting, burning. They sit back, smug, as if they're royalty on some imaginary throne. They say, "Dance for me." And there you are, twisting, turning, trying to please. They say, "Beg for me. Show me how much I matter." And you, oh you, you're doing it, aren't you? Bending until you break, thinking, "If I just give a little more, maybe they'll finally see me." But they see you. Oh, they see you. They see your tears, your effort, your love. And what do? They take it. They pocket it like spare change, because to them, that's all you are. Spare. Here's the truth, though. The more you give, the more they take, and the less they care. It's not blindness. It's selfishness. Let's call it what it is. You're worshipping someone who wouldn't even bend down to pick you up if you fell, offering gold to someone who doesn't even recognize its worth. And why? Because they've convinced you they're special. They've made you believe their silence is power, that their rejection is worth chasing. But let me ask you this. If they're so powerful, why do they need to make you feel so small? Here's the kicker. Their rejection isn't power. It's insecurity dressed up as arrogance, a hollow crown on a plastic throne. And you're the one keeping their little empire standing. You're the fuel to their fire, the stage for their show, the applause for their absence. But what happens when you stop clapping? You think your love is the problem. You think you are the problem. But the real issue, it's the pedestal you put them on. A pedestal they didn't earn, but one you built with your time, your heart, your soul. It's time to burn that pedestal to the ground. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. Your silence is the one thing they can't control. Oh, they love it when you beg, when you chase, when you twist yourself into knots. But silence is a storm they can't predict. It's the void that forces them to face their own emptiness. When you stop feeding their ego, their game crumbles. The hunter becomes the hunted. Picture this. An empty stage, a dark spotlight, no applause. Just them, standing alone in the silence they created. And you're not backstage. You've left the building entirely. That's the power of silence. This isn't about them. It never was. It's about you. Your silence isn't revenge. It's redemption. It's the moment you stop begging for scraps and start feasting on your own worth. It's not about making them miss you. It's about making you matter to yourself. So let me leave you with this. Silence isn't weakness. It's a declaration. It says, "I am more than your indifference. I am more than your games. I am more." And when you rise, oh, they won't see it coming. Your silence will echo louder than any words you could ever say. Now tell me, my friend, are you ready? Are you ready to become the storm they never saw coming? Say it with me. I am the storm. Write it in the comments below. Shout it to the world. I am the storm. When you've claimed it, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and step into your power. Not for me, but for you. For the person you're becoming. For the storm you're unleashing. Let's make the silence roar. Are you ready? Let's do this. Number 1. They think they're royalty. They think they're royalty, don't they? Sitting up there on their self-made throne, looking down at you like you're just a loyal subject. You're left waiting for scraps of their attention, begging for their approval. Oh, how grand they must feel, pretending to be some untouchable king or queen. But here's the truth, my friend. Their throne, it's not gold. It's made from pieces of you they've taken. Every ounce of love, every late-night text, every time you bent over backward to make them feel special, it's all piled beneath them, holding them up high, and they dare to act like they earned it. Let's call it what it is. They didn't earn a thing. They've tricked you into building that pedestal for them, brick by brick, with your own hands. You gave them everything, your time, your love, your energy, thinking they'd see you, value you, and love you back. But instead of lifting you up, they took everything you gave and sat on it like it was a throne. And now they think they're untouchable. They believe their silence is power, that ignoring you is some kind of game they're winning. But let's not sugarcoat it. The only reason they act like royalty is because you've treated them like they are. You handed them the crown every time you begged for a reply, justified their indifference, or chased their attention as if it was worth more than your own self-respect. Now they've started believing their own hype. But let me tell you something about true royalty. Real royalty doesn't tear others down to feel powerful. Real royalty doesn't play games, manipulate, or use silence as a weapon. What they're doing isn't power, it's weakness disguised. They ignore you not because they're strong, but because they're scared. Yes, scared. Scared of losing control, of seeing you realize the truth. You're the one with the real power. Picture this, a glass castle shining under the sun, looking untouchable. But one solid swing at its foundation, and the whole thing shatters. That's their throne. It's fragile, it's fake. And you're the one holding the hammer. They think ignoring you shows dominance. They think your heartbreak proves their strength. But every second you stay silent, every moment you reclaim your energy, every time you refuse to play their games, you're chipping away at that glass castle. It terrifies them because without your love, attention, and validation, their throne is nothing more than an empty chair. And here's what they'll never admit. They need you more than you need them. Oh, they'll pretend they don't care, act unbothered, and sit in their silence like you mean nothing. But inside, they're shaking. They know that the second you stop treating them like royalty, the illusion collapses. They're no king or queen, just someone feeding off your love and giving nothing back. So what's next, my friend? Do you keep worshipping their fake throne, or do you burn it down? Do you keep bowing to someone who refuses to see you, or do you rise? Rising isn't about making them notice you or proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right, about your worth, your strength, and the fact that you don't need someone who treats you like an option when you've given them your all. Let them stay in their silence, thinking they've won. While they're busy pretending to be royalty, you'll become the storm they can't ignore. Every moment you spend rebuilding yourself, every step you take back to your own power, and every ounce of love you pour into yourself instead of into them, it all adds up. One day, they'll look up and realize their throne is empty, their castle is gone, and you'll be standing taller than they ever imagined. You don't need their attention or their love. What you need is to remember who you are. You're not their servant. You're not a pawn. You're the storm, the fire, the one who decides your worth, not them. Now, say this with me. I reclaim my crown. Write it in the comments. Let the world see it. Let them see you rise. Drop it like it's the final nail in their fake throne. I reclaim my crown. Say it, own it, live it, and let their silence echo as you walk away from the kingdom you built for them, ready to create an empire for yourself. Before we continue, hit the like button if this message resonates. If you're ready to reclaim your crown, rise above their games, and build something unshakable, show your support. This isn't just about you or me. It's about everyone who needs to hear this truth. Every like, comment, and subscribe helps YouTube share this video with others who are searching, struggling, and needing to rise, just like you. Smash that like button, drop a comment. Let's create a movement of strength, one click at a time. Number 2. They think you're a puppet, but you hold the strings. Oh, they think you're a puppet, don't they? Sitting there, smugly pulling at strings they believe are attached to you. Tug here, and you'll come running. tug there, and you'll bend to their will. They're convinced you're dancing to their tune, like some lifeless doll awaiting their next command. Cute, isn't it? How arrogant. But here's the truth they don't see. You're the one holding the strings. Oh, they're too caught up in their illusion of control to notice. Every pull, every manipulative game, every calculated silence they throw at you only works because you've allowed it. You've been playing along, haven't you? Letting them think they're in charge, when deep down you've always had the power. Let's break it down. Each time they ignore you or act cold and distant, they're waiting for a reaction. They feed on it. Your texts, your calls, your pleas for their attention. That's their fuel. It keeps their little game alive. As long as you respond, as long as you chase, they can cling to the illusion that they're in control. But here's the twist. The second you stop playing along, their strings snap. Picture this, a marionette show on a dimly lit stage. The puppeteer is proudly pulling strings, making the puppet move. The audience applauds, and the puppeteer feels like the star of the show. But suddenly, the strings go slack. The puppet stops moving. The audience grows silent. And the puppeteer? Oh, now they're panicking, exposed as nothing without the puppet to animate their act. That's them. Their so-called control only exists because of you, your reactions, your attention, your energy. You've been the one giving meaning to their performance. But when you step back, when you let silence hang in the air and refuse to react, the whole show crumbles. And let's not forget why they do this, why they play these games, why they treat you like a puppet. It's not about power, it's about fear. Fear of being seen for who they really are. Fear of losing the hold they think they have over you. Because if you realize you're the one holding the real strings, they're left with nothing. So stop pretending their games mean anything. Stop letting their silence or manipulation affect you. Their so-called control isn't strength, it's desperation. And you, oh, you're not a puppet. You're the storm. You're the fire. You're the one who decides when the show ends. Imagine this, a dark, empty stage. No strings, no movements, no puppeteer, just silence. That's what happens when you reclaim your power. You don't react. You don't give them the satisfaction of your attention. And while they're left scrambling, you step off the stage, free, alive, untouchable. So say it with me. I hold the power. Write it in the comments. Let it echo through their silence. Say it, own it, live it, then walk away from their stage, leaving their games and their strings behind for good. Number 3, ignoring you isn't power, it's fear. Oh, so they're ignoring you, are they? Acting like their absence is some brilliant display of control. They think silence is their weapon, a way to keep you guessing, keep you chasing, keep you on edge. But let me tell you something, my friend. Ignoring you isn't power. It's fear. Yes, fear. They'll never admit it, of course. They'll hide behind coldness, indifference, and silence crafted to look deliberate. They'll pretend they're unbothered, like your efforts don't matter. But beneath that mask of arrogance, they're trembling. Because silence. It's not strength, it's a shield. A weak one at that. Picture this. A child playing hide and seek, burying their face in their hands, thinking they've disappeared. That's them. They believe their silence makes them invisible, untouchable. They think it gives them the upper hand. But the truth? They're hiding because they're scared. Scared of vulnerability, scared of accountability, scared of truly connecting. You see, silence isn't power, it's avoidance. It's their way of keeping you off balance, hoping you'll doubt yourself, question your worth, and chase them. But their silence has nothing to do with you. It's all about their fear. Oh, they're afraid, all right. Afraid of being seen, afraid of being exposed. Because when someone truly loves them, it forces them to confront their flaws, their emptiness, their inability to return that love. So they run, they hide, they ignore, not out of strength, but because they can't handle the weight of real connection. And you, I know their silence cuts deep. It makes you question everything, your worth, your value, your place in their life. But hear me clearly, their silence doesn't define your worth. It reveals their weakness. Imagine a lion in the jungle, roaring with unapologetic strength. That's you, my friend. And them? They're the shadow, slinking away, hoping you don't notice them. They can't match your power, so they try to pull you down instead. But why would a lion waste its roar on a shadow? Their silence is their loss, not yours. Every second they spend ignoring you is a moment they lose someone who cared, who tried, who gave their all. And you're not losing anything. Their silence is your liberation, a chance to see them for what they are, unworthy of your love and time. So rise above their fear. Their silence doesn't diminish your value, it amplifies it. Say it with me. Their silence is weakness. Then walk away, head held high, knowing their fear will never define your strength. Number 4, you were worshipping a plastic throne. Oh, my friend, let's get real. You were worshipping a plastic throne, weren't you? Someone sat there, acting like royalty, soaking up your devotion. But that throne, it wasn't gold or even wood. It was cheap, hollow plastic. And you gave it a shine it never deserved. You thought they were special, unique. The way they smiled, the way they made you feel like the center of their universe, until you weren't, until they revealed their true face. They weren't royalty, they were standing on your back. Let's paint the picture. A throne, shimmering in the distance, looks valuable. But as you get closer, you see the cracks, the peeling paint, the hollow base. You've been bowing to something that could crumble with a single touch. That's them. That's the throne you've been worshipping. Why did you give them so much? Because they made you believe they were worthy. That if you just loved them enough, tried a little harder, you'd earn their approval. But the truth is, their worth came from you. You polished that throne. You kept it standing. And what did they do? They sat there, soaking up your devotion as if it was owed to them. But plastic doesn't last. It cracks, it melts, and you are the fire. The second you stop worshipping, stop giving, stop bending over backward for them, their throne falls apart. They fall apart. You thought you were chasing royalty, but now you see they're just a pretender with a fake crown on a crumbling throne. So what do you do now? Stop worshipping, stop sacrificing, start building something real, something solid, worthy of your love. Say it with me. I burn the throne. Write it in the comments. Let the world know you're done bowing, done breaking, done giving to someone who doesn't deserve you. And when the ashes settle, you'll see it clearly. You've always been the real royalty. Number 5. The silence isn't for them, it's for you. Oh, you think this silence is about them, don't you? You believe it's a tactic, a clever game to make them miss you, notice you, or come crawling back. Wake up, my friend. This silence, it's not about them at all. It's for you. Let me say it plainly. Right now, you're still tangled in their world, aren't you? Still wondering what's going on in their head, what they're feeling, if your silence is making them regret anything. They must love that power you've given them. But here's the harsh truth. Every second you spend obsessing over their reaction is a second you're still stuck in their shadow, and they don't deserve that. Think for a moment. What has their attention brought you so far? Pain, confusion, endless nights staring at your phone, hoping for a message that never comes. You've been their puppet long enough, dangling on strings they didn't even care to hold tightly. And now you're flipping the game, using silence as a weapon. Oh no. Silence isn't meant to attack, it's meant to protect. This silence isn't about revenge. It's not a trap to make them crawl back or regret. It's about stopping the endless pouring of yourself into someone who never cared to catch what you gave. It's about healing, not for their benefit, but for yours. Understand this. You're not going silent to punish them. You're going silent to save yourself. Every moment of quiet is you stepping back into your power. It's you reclaiming every ounce of energy wasted on someone too blind, too self-absorbed to recognize your worth. They don't deserve your words or your effort. They don't even deserve a place in your thoughts anymore. This silence isn't theirs. It's your freedom. It's you saying, "I refuse to let you disturb my peace any longer." Oh, it's not easy, I know. Sitting in that silence, feeling the weight of it, wondering if they even care. But let me tell you something. You don't need them to care. What you need is to care about yourself more. Because your silence isn't empty. It's full of strength, growth, and healing. Every second you hold it, you're shouting to the universe, "I choose me." And that's real power. Stop waiting for their reaction. Stop hoping they notice. They don't matter anymore. You do. Say it with me. The silence is mine. Feel it, own it, live it, and let it bring you back to yourself, where you've always belonged. Number 6. Your silence is the real crown. Let's clear something up, my friend. Your silence is the real crown. Not their texts, not their calls, not the breadcrumbs they toss your way when they feel like it. No, your power, your throne, your crown is in the silence you hold. Silence speaks louder than any words could. Right now, they think they've got you all figured out. They believe you're just waiting there, desperate, hoping for their next move. But every second you stay silent, every moment you don't break, you prove them wrong. Oh, it must sting. They expected you to chase, to beg, to crumble. But instead, you went quiet. And that silence, it's deafening. They thought they wore the crown, thought they held the power, thought they were calling the shots. But a true crown isn't worn by someone who plays games. A real crown belongs to someone who knows their worth, someone who refuses to depend on the validation of those who take them for granted. And that someone is you. Let me tell you something about crowns. They're heavy. They require strength to carry, wisdom to wield, and grace to wear. And your silence, it proves you have all of that and more. Silence isn't easy. It takes courage to hold back, to resist the urge to explain or defend yourself to someone who doesn't deserve your energy. Every second you remain quiet, every moment you choose peace over chaos, you show that your crown is real, while theirs is nothing more than a cheap imitation. Picture this: a throne room empty except for you. No noise, no games, no distractions. Just you, sitting in your power, calm and unshaken. That's what your silence creates. A kingdom built on your terms, where you don't need their attention or approval to feel complete. Oh, they'll try to rattle you, to draw you back into their little games. But your silence? It's your shield, your sword, your crown, and it's untouchable. Here's a truth they won't admit. Your silence proves you're stronger than they ever believed. It's the thing that will haunt them far more than anything you could say. So wear it proudly. Sit tall on your throne of peace, with your silence shining like the crown it is. Say it now. My silence is power. Let it echo like a lion's roar. My silence is power. And let them see what real royalty looks like when you stop playing their games and start building your empire. Number 7. What if they come back? The question that haunts you, isn't it? What if they come back? You're sitting there, holding your silence, trying to rebuild your life, but that thought sneaks in like a shadow. What happens if they return? If they send a message, make a call, or suddenly decide to remember you exist? Do you open the door and let them back in? Do you let them pull you into their game again? Or do you stand firm, crown intact, and remind yourself of the person you've become? Here's something you need to understand about people who come back. They don't return because they've had some grand epiphany about your worth. Oh no, they come back because they feel the void you left behind, the energy, the light, the attention you once gave them. It's not love that pulls them back. It's their ego. They're not coming back to give you what you deserve. They're coming back to take more. Imagine a moth circling a flame. It doesn't care about the flame's power or beauty. It's drawn to the light, but only for its own needs. That's them, the person who resurfaces after you've gone silent. They're not there to honor your journey or admire your strength. They're there because they can't handle the emptiness they feel without you. Oh, they miss the warmth you gave, but they're not ready to give any back. And when they come back, what do they say? I've changed. I was wrong. I miss you. How convenient, right? But let me ask you, where was this energy when you were giving them everything? Where was this realization when you were begging to be seen, valued, and loved? They ignored you at your most vulnerable, and now that you've reclaimed your power, they think they can just stroll back into your life. Let's be real. Your silence wasn't a trap for them. It was a gift for you. It was the space you needed to grow, heal, and rebuild. And if they're back now, it's not because they've become a better person. It's because your absence made them uncomfortable. But here's a hard truth. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. Let that sink in. Their regret, their emptiness, their loss, they don't belong to you. You owe them nothing. You've done the work. You've endured the silence, sat with the pain, and come out stronger. If they couldn't see your worth when you were at your lowest, they don't deserve a seat at your table now that you're rising. Because, my friend, you're no longer the person they left behind. You've become the storm, the fire, the crown, and them. They're just a memory, a chapter in your story, not the author of it. So what if they come back? The choice is yours, not from a place of longing or nostalgia, but from strength. Ask yourself, does their return fit into the life you're building? Do they deserve the healed, empowered version of you? If the answer is no, then let them stay at the door while you lock it for good. Say it with me. I owe them nothing. Let it echo like the anthem of your rebirth. And remember, your silence wasn't for them, it was for you. If they come back, it's not a test of your worth. It's proof of the strength you've always had. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of self-awareness and growth at the Wisdom Hub. Don't forget to watch our next video, appearing right on your screen, to continue enriching your life with Stoic wisdom. Thank you for being part of our community. Until next time, stay wise and stay serene.